And here in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player hailing from the team ZeNEX.Life. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, our blue Terran player, and actually, surprisingly, going down in game number 1, it's OGS SuperNoVa.
You ever play the board game Life?
No, I actually only played it once, and I just trolled people the whole time.
I played it like once or twice, and I didn't like it.
I'm
not a big fan of that board game.
We were, as a family, we were Monopoly and Catan. That's all we played.
Catan. Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, yes.
That is what you got to play. That's fun.
My favorite board game.
Although I do like the odd game of Munchkin now and again as well.
Munchkin is fun. I was a big Risk guy as well. I really
Okay.
enjoyed Risk. I never played any of the weird versions, but I played the original Risk more times than I care to think. Axis and Allies as well, and Arkham Horror. Actually, that's probably the nerdiest game that I play. Board game that I play on a regular basis.
Yeah, you were talking about that. We have to try that sometime. I've never played that.
It is awesome. Any Arkham Horror fans out there? If so, tweet at us. He is at GoSudoa. I'm at CatsPajamasSC2. Let him know how much fun it really is to play.
Yeah. There was a Settlers of Catan booth at South by Southwest, actually. They had the awesomest custom Settlers of Catan table that I've ever seen. It was so cool, dude.
I've already looked it up, and I'm going to buy one.
That is going to be great.
It's amazing.
I'm going to play that game on that table when you get it.
That's true. I will do the same.
That's the plan. It's got like little cup holder things built into the table to keep your pieces in. It's got like a hexagon in the middle of the table where you can like set the pieces in. They fit all nice and snug.
Yeah.
You can like flip the top over so that you can do like the multi things.
Yep.
Expansions. It's so nice.
I'm looking forward to that. We even got little Catan plushies.
Completely frivolous. Yeah, that's true. They had little plush figures of the resources in Catan, which is not something I expected to see ever in my life, but it was neat.
And I got wheat, which is clearly the best resource, and you guys who have played Catan out there, you know that wheat is the ultimate resource necessary for almost everything in the game.
I got wood. I just like to I just like to go for longest road.
Yes.
That's one of the parts you need for it.
It's
about it.
Longest road is critical.
It is.
Actually, I really like cutting the map in half. All right. Well, we have a 1RX gasless FE for SuperNoVa. Yeah. We'll see if he follows this up with pretty quick gas and decides to go into Hellions afterwards. Life, on the other hand, decided to expand, and then is putting up speedlings afterwards. Gas before spawning pool there, and he will have those speedlings in very, very short order.
Yep, we saw him do a similar build last game. Just kind of, again, a very, very safe opening against Terran, and he needs to do that because he's playing against one of the best TVZers out there right now, in my opinion. And very, very good. He took Lucira to Game 7 in his Code A Finals all the way back when, last year in March, that was. So he's always been good at TVZ, and he continues to be good at TVZ. So again, I think that he does have kind of the edge in this series here, but ZeNEX.Life has shown that he's not going down, at least without a fight, and he actually won that first game pretty convincingly, I would say.
Yeah, there's a lot of gas coming up for SuperNoVa now, and it could be just after the quick gasless FE to get very, very quickly back into factory with a reactor. But after that, he's going to be able to aggressively pursue upgrades for his bio units, move into that tank phase quick as well. He has a lot of flexibility with this. Indeed, the factory is up, and we'll see. Well, this is actually timed out pretty well. He's going to have basically just enough for a reactor when that Marine finishes up.
Yep, that would be his 4th Marine this time around. Because the order he built things in, the timings are a little bit differently, but I like this. It gives you a full bunker. It denies any scouting for sure. Yep. And speaking of scouting, the SCV barely slipping in there. And it's going to be tough to avoid that Queen on creep.
It is.
But he gets in there and he sees that there is nothing he needs to worry about. Just a spawning pool. Nothing out of the ordinary there.
Every once in a while, though, you catch a Zerg player who is sitting there, decides to go for that quick Roach Warrant, really wants to push down the front. Yep. And already a starport is actually the next thing being built. So it could be gasless FE into Reactor Hellion into Banshee.
Yeah, that's been a popular thing to do in TVZ lately, and it is pretty good. If Life was actually Keurig, SuperNoVa would have had a good chance of scouting a Baneling nest. That's what Keurigs like to do. Look at that. Very fast third here for ZeNEX.Life as well. Interesting. There it is. And if it is indeed going to be Banshees, which it kind of looks like it is for SuperNoVa, this third base could be in some trouble. It's going to be tough to defend it, especially if SuperNoVa decides to go for Cloak, which by looking at how much gas he has saved up, it seems pretty likely.
Could very well. He's, of course, has a very nice economy already running because of the very, very quick expansion that he took, and he has enough for both. And
there it is, yeah.
There's Cloak, and there's 150, 100. There's Banshee.
Yeah, so Cloak Banshee's coming in kind of an odd timing here for ZeNEX.Life. And this is something that a lot of Zergs get caught by if they're not being careful. It's a little bit different. You're not really expecting it if it comes at this time, so he's going to have to just kind of rely on scouting, seeing what's at the front, and kind of deducing what could be happening from SuperNoVa's side from that.
And ZeNEX.Life, he's making 16 links. He has a Baneling Nest coming up right
Yes,
now. We'll see if he puts any more links up after that. I thought he was going into a similar build as last time, but he's lacking the double Evo chambers, and that's going to be very critical when the Banshees hit.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, ZeNEX.Life is preparing for the exact wrong thing here. He's going into kind of a more defensive mid-game, just like we saw last time. And if, catching one heli there, if SuperNoVa was doing the same thing he was doing last game, this would be perfect, but he's going for Cloak Banshees there. So he's going to be able to react and put up Spore Crawlers when he sees this coming. However, he's still going to take some damage at the very least from this. SuperNoVa should be able to cause some hurt here to a Zerg player. Oh, handling those Zerglings very well as well.
Yeah, he is. This is actually working out pretty remarkably well for him. Taking a look around, we have double upgrades coming up and another 14, or now 16 wings. Yeah, but still no Spore Crawlers quite yet. And let's see, that's just Hellions. There's our first Banshee. He's floating his way across. Plenty of energy as well to pick off an expansion or so. Now 3 Spore Crawlers are making their way out. Looks like it may have been seen by these Zerglings over the right.
Yeah, I think he got a glimpse of it. He knows. And just the fact that there's this many Hellions out, he knows that the gas has to be going somewhere. So,
yeah,
pretty good deduction there. Oh, canceling the Spore Crawler right as the Banshee shows up. There are 2 Queens there, but SuperNoVa, he can't cloak. There is an Overseer there, so ZeNEX.Life actually handling this quite well despite the losses from the Hellions.
Yeah, ZeNEX.Life handling this well. I gotta say, he has made a ton of Zerglings, and they have basically all died, though.
He's a little bit behind on drones because of this, but couldn't ask for a better situation with those Banshees. Getting that Overseer out just barely in time.
Yeah, we'll see how SuperNoVa wants to follow this up, though. Of course, he already does have a third base almost complete. He'll be able to move to an orbital command soon as well. He's going to pick off yet more Zerglings in the middle of the map, and it's hard to watch. A lot of Zerglings going down.
Baseball player trying to steal third, but having to run back and forth.
Only
the players were firing missiles at him at each base.
We'll see who's out there now, and that actually knows baseball quite a bit. That looked like the Molina brothers trying to run back and forth between bases. Renowned catchers, horrible runners.
The only Molina I know is from Mortal Kombat, man.
Ah, I see. I didn't know that Molina. I do know Benji, Jose, and Yadier, though. Great baseball players.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Well, those Zerg players would be good at stealing bases. They do have the metabolic boost upgrade, but unfortunately they're not terribly good at shooting Marines. They will, this is going to lose a lot of them, but he will clean up this course here.
Yeah,
this is pretty nice.
Then not much he's going to be able to get done with those Zerglings. They're going to die here pretty quickly. They back their way out. This is actually becoming a planetary fortress, so defensive right away for SuperNoVa. Not going to get himself that extra meal production.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to hurt him too much. I mean, he does have those Banshees out on the map. He's going to be able to be very, very threatening with those. Looks like he's splitting them up to try to either scout or possibly do some damage at different bases. To see where he decides to send him. Oh, look at that. A very fast 4th base from ZeNEX.Life at the middle base there. Not scouted quite yet by SuperNoVa, as we can see.
And we'll see if SuperNoVa tries to take that down into bits. We already have our first infestors coming up. 5 already on the field. ZeNEX.Life had so much gas saved up. This is coming very close to the unit composition that we saw last go-around. But Hive had already been started for ZeNEX.Life last time around. This time coming up much, much later.
Yeah, he was a little bit delayed, of course, by the Banshees. The third didn't quite get rolling as fast as he'd like, so he did take that quicker 4th. And he catches that Banshee, and he's going to actually kill it here, too, it looks like. Goodbye. Yeah. Another one coming in here. Bold move by SuperNoVa.
No kidding. Only gets off 1 shot as if to say, ha-ha, gotcha. And the Banshee's going to have to roll away. Oh, there is an Overseer out.
Oh, he gets it. All right, and yeah, he's going to be able to kill this Banshee quite easily. Great bunker growths on that Banshee as well.
Boston Infestor there, though, has to watch out for those. They are very, very fragile units. Just a couple of hits from the Banshees.
That 1 Infestor for 2 Banshees. I suppose there could be worse trades. Not ideal, but it wasn't bad either.
Right. And SuperNoVa is going to try and roll his way through the middle now. Let's take a look at his vision. And it appears as though he does see the creep. Okay, now scanning. Got some banelings. We've got a lot of infestors.
Yep, similar style to what we saw last time, and OGS SuperNoVa still at about the same upgrade point as well. Oh, the banelings are not going to make it.
No.
Two actually do finish.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just going to run into a siege tank. They don't really get a lot done.
Oh,
and the infestors. Oh, the headbutt is not that successful. I can just feel the gas disappearing there as those infestors all die.
Well, that could be what you ate for lunch, but we can definitely see that ZeNEX.Life
a valid point.
Losing a lot of resources along with those infestors as well.
Yes. Let's see here. That pizza was good, but man, it was spicy.
You kind of walked into that one. I'm sorry.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's okay. It's if you know me, that's not too far off from the truth most of the time. Anyway, SuperNoVa, he's making his way around to the 12 o'clock with a medevac. He'll be able to, well, not get anything done with them because Life is already on top of this, sending over those Zerglings very, very quickly.
Life is playing so well in this series. I'm really, really impressed by him. Not saying that I thought he was bad before or anything like that, but he is really on top of his game today.
And, I mean, he had to really bring it against a pretty stout opponent. He has done just that.
Against SuperNoVa, yeah, you have to be playing your top game.
All right, well, we'll see if SuperNoVa can get anything done with this drop. He is going to be able to set this down before the Spore Crawler gets in.
Spore Crawler's like, I want to die.
Yes, yes he does. Well, he is going to die momentarily, but that allows the Lings to come in. And Life actually dealing with both the drops, once again, very, very well.
Yeah, Life has a skill that you don't see in a lot of Zerg players, which is handling drops at multiple locations at the same time. I mean, we saw Gumiho kind of like make a career out of just dropping it a million places at once in TVZ.
It's true.
And he got all the way to the GSL semifinals as well with that. So it's definitely a style that Terrans have been finding a lot of success with in TVZ for quite a while here, but ZeNEX.Life seeming to know exactly how many units he needs to handle every single little drop that his opponent throws at him.
Just thinking about running down here in a second. I will say, though, SuperNoVa's macro has been quite good, and he is actually still on even supply with the Zerg opponents and has his fourth base on the way. Adrenal Gland's now coming out along with an Ultralisk Cavern.
You know, and speaking of that Ultralisk Cavern, too, you can see down there that SuperNoVa's added on some Marauders already here in this composition. He's already preparing for what did him in last time with some Marauders out. Those Ultralisks are going to be much less effective. It's not being very effective for SuperNoVa either.
Looks like he just wants to occupy his opponent's attention and move up, and it looks like he has done that. The Zergling's trying to run in, but there's so many tanks sitting up the front. We'll see if that alone can be enough. Pretty good split of the Bioforces back there for SuperNoVa as well.
Great fungals.
Catching a lot, but those units were spread out enough that there is actually not much energy left over on the Infestors. SuperNoVa has quite a bit left over, but that is so low in health because the fungals caught so many units.
There we go, moving out with some Lings again, trying to catch a few more units here. Life just barely holding off SuperNoVa for now anyway.
Yeah, those infestors from the back trying to continue to be effective.
Look at that.
SuperNoVa still running in with yet more units, but is it going to be enough? Pulls back to the Planetary Fortress. Planetary Fortress registers its first kill of the day.
Man, you gotta think that ZeNEX.Life is really hitting all his injects really well this game to be able to handle these pushes and keep producing this many units consistently.
Yeah.
Life is just doing everything right now. Even the engagements that looked a little bit iffy, he ended up winning just through sheer control. And you know what? He's not losing his infestors either. All his infestors have been staying alive for a very long time. He's only lost maybe like 3 or so far.
Well, we'll see if, well, he doesn't headbutt them that much this go-around, but now he's got to watch out as Zerglings are starting to make their way down to the bottom right. Oh, I thought he would be pulling back to some tanks or something, but there's just not a lot there. GG! Life is now 2-0 over OGS SuperNoVa. He's just one game away from advancing into winners round 2.